And we're back. I'm Dr. Yasser Sonbol. Let's dive right back into today's medical conversation. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Yasser Sonbol. We're on Real Medicine, Real Lives. Do you love what you're watching? Don't miss a moment of The Battle Ready or any of your favorite Now Media TV shows. It's either live, on demand, anytime, or anywhere. Download the free Now Media TV app on your Roku or iOS device and enjoy instant access or full lineup of bilingual programming in English and in Spanish. You want to listen on the go? Download our podcast. You can download any show on the Now Media app there too. We're available online at NowMediaTV.com. I'm sorry, NowMedia.tv. We have breaking news, lifestyle changes, culture, everything in between, streaming 24/7 whenever you're ready. We're back here with Bryan Fetzer. He's been really interesting today to help us with all our lifestyle and fitness and nutritional changes. So next segment we're going to talk about, Bryan, is we're going to talk about why most health plans fail and what really works for people with real lives, right? I mean, we're not athletes. I mean, I watch people on TV, football, NFL players, basketball players, etc. I mean, that's their job. Their job is to work out every day and play a sport. And so they have all the time in the world. I've seen people who are like, I go to the gym for 3 hours. You know what? I don't have 3 hours to be at the gym. I got an hour, maybe 3 times a week to get there, right?
Right.
So, what do most people get wrong about starting a healthcare journey and what leads them to fail?
Well, one of the things is they spend a little bit too much time on this thing, their phone and looking at what social media says they're doing and these influencers and so forth. So they get a kind of a misinformation of sorts, because what you just said with professional athletes, or a lot of athletes that are at a high caliber, they have somebody writing workouts up for them. They have somebody that's pushing them. They have recovery modalities. They have somebody that maybe is working on their nutrition specifically. They have a whole team behind them, whereas most people don't have a whole team. You might have you and your spouse, and that's really it, or just some friends. So you've got to kind of come up with a situation that's going to be one that's going to lead to success for you. And you got to really come up with realistic goals. That's probably one of the biggest things. What do you actually want to accomplish? And then kind of plot it out, kind of figure out what are the next steps from there.
Gotcha. And so, there's a lot of people that try these cookie cutter solutions, right, to try to figure all this out, and it fails. And why do you think this cookie cutter solution fails for so many people?
Well, one, they're probably not very committed to it, and it's probably extremely restrictive. It is one. People will go, they'll go and take a pill. I think that's going to do things. I know way back in the day, I had a friend, they wanted to get big. So they were like, I've been taking steroids. I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy. I'm like, well, how's your workouts going? Well, I'm not working out. I'm like, well, why are you taking steroids then? Well, I want to get bigger. I don't have time to work out. I'm like, that's the most nonsense thing. You're taking that, to reduce recovery time so you can put in more work. But people have misnomers and misconceptions on what actually is going to kind of produce results for them. And, hey, people get, they get into CrossFit or they get into something else, and maybe they get injured for whatever it is because they started too fast. Seek advice. There's a lot of people out there that'll give you good advice. If you go to a gym per se and ask the people there, hey, I like to do, dancing. Maybe there's a class that's a fitness class that has a lot of dancing involved, that you can do that and you're passionate about it and you can have fun with those things. Maybe it's doing something, go ruck. The ruck events. My brother's into those, where you're doing kind of quote unquote like military fitness type training, but you're in a group of men. You have a community, you have some support where you can do things together. Those are the big ones that you can really kind of aid to your journey with.
Gotcha. And so you're obviously big into fitness, big into health, big into nutrition. What makes, there's a lot of people out there, and like you said, there's a lot of influencers. I mean, I've seen videos on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, everybody's like, do 70 bicep curls and do this and do that, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's real or not, but, I mean, what makes your approach to nutrition and, performance different than other people?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I kind of did a journey. I played college football, had put on a lot of weight. Then I got into the real world and I was coaching and I wasn't sleeping, which was not good at all. And I wasn't eating right and I got skinny. And then I went the other way. I started making money and I started eating a lot of fast food and I got bigger, not good bigger. So I've kind of seen that evolution, but over the course of time, I started finding out what works for me and what fits into my schedule. Like I said, eating wise, I tend to eat 1 to 2 meals a day on average. That's really about it. I eat very high dense proteins. I eat berries. I don't personally have too much carbs, but that's just because it's not something I really like a whole lot. But it's not to say I don't have them at all. I have them. We go out. I love me some Italian food. I love some pizza, but I do it in moderation. It's not my mainstay of my meals. And then exercise wise, I try to go do something every single day that's some kind of a form of exercise. If it's not walking, it's going to the gym. I don't have to go to the gym and spend an hour or 2 hours there. It's going there, doing something that's pretty high intensity for me, um, because I get a little sidetracked if I'm in there too long. But doing something, it's funny. I change things up a lot. My workout routine constantly changes, but I enjoy lifting weights. That's me personally. Some people don't enjoy that. Some people like the class part, but I'll go in there and even just recently, Eddie Abreu is a former bodybuilder. Um, gave some insight and gave some examples of some different training. So I've completely switched up my training so my body doesn't get used to the normal stresses and it's constantly kind of evolving and pushing through things.
Gotcha. I'm really glad you brought that up because I think it leads into the next question. And the next question would be is how can people know if their current plan that they're on is hurting them or helping them, and when it's time to pivot and make changes?
Yeah, I mean that's a really good question because it varies for so many individuals. And what it is really kind of learning your own body and getting in tune with how you feel. Um, I there's wearables out there. I have a wearable that I serve as my wedding ring. To my wife's chagrin a little bit, I think. But it kind of shows me my sleep patterns. It shows me, how much activity am I getting during the day? Am I sitting around too much? It's because we're busy. I mean, we're busy lifestyles. You have to have cues. You have to, just like somebody doing a television show is going to give you a prompt. Hey, you only have so many minutes left in a segment. You need some prompts too as an individual. So getting understand that is a great thing. I would go out, get a wearable, get some kind of a device, or join a group that can kind of help you through that journey. And really, knowing when to pivot is just changing things up. Don't let things get too stale. Really change up what you're doing before it gets too much.
Yeah, and I think that's really interesting because I mean, obviously, some of the things that people run into barriers are affordability, right? I mean, not everybody can afford a personal trainer, not everybody can afford a nutritionist, not everybody can afford a gym membership. I mean, there's a lot of things that are not there. So, but I think we live in an era in which a lot of that stuff, especially with the internet and online, has now been made a little bit easier and a little bit more affordable because there's a lot of things people can do from home, right? Especially
Absolutely.
nutrition plans, etc. Do you have any recommendations? Let's say people that can't afford to go to a gym and get a personal trainer, and any sort of services that you've interacted with or that you've evaluated that you find are easy and affordable and should help with some sort of fitness, whether nutrition or exercise.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of apps on phones and televisions now that are free that you can do calisthenics. Old school. When I was a kid, we'd do them at football practice. Jumping jacks and different things that you can do in your house. You can get very affordable bands at a Five Below or a Walmart or something of that nature, where you can do your own fitness journey in your own living room that you don't need to go outside it. And with the access that the internet has, there's a lot out there. What I would always do is cross-reference things, is because there's a lot of people that are quote unquote gurus out there that have no idea what they're talking about. So just because it's said on the internet, just have a little caution to that it might not be the best way. Get a couple of different opinions, a couple of different thought processes on it.
So would you be of the notion that, and I've heard this before, but I've never practiced it, but your body weight is good enough to use as an exercise tool, right? So
Absolutely.
whether it's push-ups or sit-ups or jumping jacks or even just squats at home or whatever it may be.
You really need to be able to maneuver your own body and be able to control it and be able to do movements, whether it's doing some kind of a core exercise. The one thing that everybody could start on and could improve, and I would guarantee it would dramatically increase just you as a fitness individual, is work on your core. It's probably the least sexy of all the exercises, bulging core muscles, but getting your core stronger. Google what your core is, your abdominal muscles are, and work on strengthening those, because that's going to lead to better posture, and better posture is going to lead to you a lot better human being.
Great. Again, Bryan, I really appreciate this. This has really been a great conversation so far, and I know we got more to go. But anybody looking to contact you, tired of broken promises from other people in health programs, etc., want somebody with a tailored solution, please let the audience know, how can they find you?
Yeah, you can go to ironfaithnutrition.com is one. We've got an array of supplements that are natural and all made in the United States. And then you can go to SciOptimal.com. We're a mental assessment, mental optimization, mental health company that produces things. And we're up in there. You can get me up on LinkedIn, hit me up on Instagram at Coach Fetz, and we can go from there.
I'm assuming you offer virtual things, right? Because you're in Daytona,
Sure.
You said. So obviously,
Absolutely.
people across the country can contact you and kind of work with you.
We have customers from all over the world, actually.
Okay, great. All right, everybody, hang out for a little bit. We're going to take a quick commercial. We'll be back to discuss more with Bryan about health and fitness.
Stick with us. We'll be right back with more real stories, real breakthroughs, and real lives transformed.